Well, you can always hope. I mean, Team Canada is going to have a whole lot of guys that you don't know. Maybe one of the great Spengler Cup teams of all time, where we representing our nation. It's going to be a very interesting Olympics. These always are when it's not the National Hockey League. So it's I think it's going to be a pretty fun time at the Olympics. And of course, we do know the women's national teams are all going. So it'll be that Canada-US rivalry once again. And I'm prepared to put money on the table. It'll be Canada-USA in the gold medal final. How's that? How's that for getting out on a limb?
Oh, I've been in it quite a while now. I got hurt playing AAA midget and battled through that with shoulders troubles and played some junior hockey, battled through injury there too. And I wasn't always the biggest guy. Anyways, my last year of junior, Don Yake, a guy from Terry Yake, who was a very good friend of mine, his dad got me involved with the Pembina Valley Hawks and at the age of 21, and I've been doing it ever since. So I wanted to stay in the game. I just the injuries kept banging. I had several shoulder troubles, and I just decided coaching was something I wanted to do, and I've been doing it ever since. And I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a great thing for me to stay in the game. And I coached both of my boys all the way through their minor hockey, and some of them in AAA, and actually one of them in the academy for a little bit. So it's great just to stay in the game, and I love being around the kids.
How's Tyson McConnell doing?
Actually, very well. He's home. Unfortunately, he's playing U hockey for Ontario Tech, and they're shut right down right now. And he's been home, a frustrated young man, very dedicated, works out, skating, and it's been nice for him to be home with our academy because we are skating right now. And he's been with us. Actually, he's been out with me the last couple of days with my team, and it's awesome to have him out there. The kids get their eyes open. He's talked a little bit to them and just see the pace and the way he works out. And so it's been good to have him. And for me, it's nice to have him back on the ice with me. I spent a lot of time coaching him, and I'll tell you, he's a frustrated boy, missing almost 2 years now. They don't know if they're going to get back playing this year. And it's been tough. I feel for all the kids at that age that are missing out at all levels. You know, it's just sad. It's driving him crazy, but thank goodness we have ice right now, and he can work out with us. And it's been a benefit to have my kids have him out there as well.
Now, I understand one of his teammates at Ontario Tech, Matthew Gamersic. Did he not just sign a pro contract?
Yeah, actually, that's Tyson's good buddy. They're good friends, and actually they live together. Well,
they played in Steinbach together, right?
Yeah, until Gomer got traded to Humboldt.
Right.
Before all he signed out there, and actually a couple of Tyson's teammates have signed. They just felt they're in their fourth year. They just don't feel the opportunity was there. They're going to get to play. They don't know how much they're going to get back with the U hockey this year. So yeah, it's good for him. It's an opportunity that he said he just didn't want to turn down. So he's gone. Yeah, I'm hoping so. You know, we finished our last game with a huge win over Edge. Very good hockey team, and it kind of gave us something to send us into the Christmas break. And I'm encouraged. You know, we had a couple of skates here, and the kids have had a lot of time off. But I've told you guys before, my expectations are high. They won't change. I'm going to push these kids to the max and see where it can take us. I said to my assistant coach today, for our second skate, we're way ahead of where we were in September. Our kids have come a long way. You know, we have all levels of players, but they've all really improved. So again, we got a few more months, hopefully, that we can keep things rolling here and not have any shutdowns. And we got to fight for a playoff spot. We're down there at the bottom, but we're pushing. And if all things come together, I think we'll be okay. And you never know. In our playoffs, it's a one game playoff. It's so anything can happen. We've beaten Edge. So the kids are confident, but we have lots of work to do. I'm not afraid to admit it, but that's my goal and my job to do the best I can with these kids, and they're all positive. So I think things will be good.
When you say they're all positive, that scares me because this is an odd time of not just the hockey season, but of life in Western Canada. Different rules in every province, certainly different rules in the United States if you're going to cross to play tournaments or coming the other way. I see there was a number of Western Hockey League games canceled today. Are you on pins and needles every day with this whole COVID mess?
Um, yes, I am. It's stressful. I have 4 kids out. Unfortunately, they're not coming back until they're healthy. Obviously, we've had travel troubles getting kids plane cancellations, and it has been very stressful. We're heading out to Wilcox this weekend. We've got a couple. We're waiting on results, and unfortunately, it's going to be that way. As a coach, I just have to get used to it. I got to take the lineup I can as long as I have enough to ice a team, but it is a concern for everybody involved. But we're doing everything we can. We're following the rules, the guidelines. I just every morning I wake up and am I going to get a text for another kid, but we're going to make the best of it. Small town living, everybody knows you. We care about everybody. You get tons of ice time. We're on the ice every day. We actually play up to 70 games. In a normal season, we will get to the US. We play in the prep league down there as well. Unfortunately, the last 2 years we can't. Small school, the education part is excellent. Kids get extra ice at evening. A beautiful arena to play in. Great league in the CSHL as well as the prep, like I said, in the States. So it's a great opportunity. And if anyone is interested in stuff down there, in the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to be starting taking kids in again for skates and ID camps and stuff. So if you're interested, jump on our website and feel free to contact us because we're willing to take anyone, give anybody a look. If you're at the AAA high school, a high-end high school, we're looking for anybody that's interested.
Well, last thoughts are I had a great conversation with a junior coach this week, Billy Keene, in OCN. And we had talked earlier, the last time you were on, I think, about the fact that 6 Pilot Mound players are now playing for the OCN Blizzard. And I don't think I've ever heard a coach talk about one prep school producing as high caliber and high character kids as Pilot Mound has. And I think it was a great credit to the Pilot Mound program that Coach Keene not only talked about them being all good hockey players, because all 6 of them are contributing to his team, but the fact is they're high character people. And so there's obviously more to this Pilot Mound than just hockey practice.
No, I appreciate that. That's true. We it's more to hockey here. We want them to be good people too. And actually, I just got a text from another boy. Jace Larkins told me, texted, he's just signed an OCN too. That's played for me in the past too. So, it makes me feel good. That's my job. I love to see these guys move on, and it's we have a good program here. I think we're doing good things. No, that's pretty cool. And one other time was on Eddie Belford, who I know and actually was at camp with in Winkler. That's kind of cool. I feel kind of like, I don't know if I fit in on this place, but it's kind of cool. I just love talking to you guys. So that's awesome. Thanks.
It belongs to a creature from outer space. No. It belongs to a creature from outer space.
Yeah, too dark. Just a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. No, I wish I was. Our place is getting rebuilt inside, so we have to wait. We have to wait. So I think it's supposed to be ready in June. Yeah.
So are you in Cherry Hill tonight?
Pardon me?
Are you in Cherry Hill tonight?
Yes, I'm in Warrenton, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Yeah, it's windy and chilly and cold. Reminds me of my good old days in Montreal. Yeah. Well, you know what? You get a little bit older. I don't want to admit this, but it is a fact. It takes a little bit longer. But the first operation was from a car accident, by the way, was 4 and 5. They fixed it. And 2 years later, I remember the doctor telling me that we may revisit 2 and 3. Yeah. And obviously it became a problem. And, my passion in life is I love boating. I'd love to go out in the ocean and do some fishing. And last year I couldn't do anything, and I appreciate health now very much because today, after they did the 2 and 3, I feel like my back, like I said earlier, I feel like I'm 40 years old again. It's beautiful.
Well, you should get back and play again, I think, because you were still a pretty good goaltender in your late 30s.
Well, you know what? If I get the same salary than when I played, I'm not going back.
For those who don't know, time for your origin story. You're from Montreal.
Yep.
You started playing hockey a little bit later. Now, I have a good friend here in Winnipeg named Joe Daly. And when Joe started playing goal, he had newspaper pads and he would put pillows inside his big heavy coat and he would play goal with the big heavy coat and the pillows on. Was that how you started to play goal, or did you have equipment your first day?
No, that story sounds like 1900s, but I started quickly. I got to share that story. I was 14 years old, and I'm the youngest of 7 kids, right? And I wanted to be a defenseman. So in those days, long time ago, in those days, we had outdoor rinks, and I wanted to be a defenseman. So everybody had to go around the rink once, and depending on their speed, then the coach would give them a position. So guys did theirs about 14, 15, maybe 16 seconds. Now my turn came, and I did mine in 22 seconds. So the coach looked at me and said, "Goaltender," right? So the fact that I never played goal with skates on, so I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? I'll try." And they scored, I think, was like 20 goals against me that game. And the coach said, "Get the hell out of here," right? So I lost my balance all the time. So I decided to play goal because we played hockey in the streets all the time because the ice remained in those days on the street for 3 or 4 months. So I practiced with the skates on, and the coach didn't live far from us. And he saw me practice, and think about this, 5 weeks later, his goaltender got hurt. So he gave me a call. He said, "You want to give it one more chance?" I said, "Sure." We won the game 4-2, and then I was on my way. How about that?
You were on your way because at that age, it didn't take you long to become a National Hockey League goaltender.
Well, you know what? I played I keep telling people you have to have a passion in life, okay? And my passion was to play National Hockey League. Okay? And you know what? I remember when I played for Niagara Falls, which was a farm team of the Boston Bruins junior hockey team. I played there for 2 years. And the second year, we won the Memorial Cup, which is the best team in Canada, which was awesome. We had a great team. And then when I was 19, turned 19, then I had the first training camp with the Bruins, Boston Bruins. And they had 2 good goalies then, Jerry Cheevers and Jim Johnson. And you didn't have the ability like they have today to negotiate with teams. If you don't make it, you could move to a different team or whatever. So you could stay in the minors for 5 years or whatever, even more. But still, my passion was the National Hockey League. 5 weeks later, I received a phone call from Bill Schmidt, which was a GM at Boston Bruins, said my 2 goalies got hurt at the same time. So we need you to play tomorrow night in Chicago. Think about this, my first professional hockey game against Bobby Hull, Stan Mikita, and all those guys. And we tied the game 2-2, and then I was on my way. Well, you know what? It started when I played my first game against Chicago, when Bobby Hull could shoot the puck at 120 miles an hour. It was very, very scary. But slowly, I thought of communication is very important with the team. I had good communication with my defensemen, the forwards, and they were able to help me quite a bit, and it turned out good.
You went from Boston to the Philadelphia Flyers, but before that, your very good friend Jacques Plante, and from what I read about you, one of your favorite goaltenders of all time, really helped establish you as a player. Tell me what Jacques Plante meant to you.
Yeah, well, first of all, quickly, Plante's sister used to live next door to us in Montreal, and I remember every summer, I was young then, and I would stand in the kitchen window watching him. He would come in with a big convertible, with the hat on and a cigar. He would walk slowly to meet his sister, and I couldn't talk. I was so nervous. It was incredible. And then when I got traded from the Flyers to Toronto, I was disappointed, of course. And when I ended up in Toronto, I realized that hey, I'm going to play hockey with Plante, share the duties, because I was 23 years old, and Plante was 42 years old. So I watched him play, I watched him practice, and I said, "Oh my God, is he ever good?" So I asked him, I said, "Can you teach me?" He said, "Sure." And that changed my whole career. That was incredible. Why don't I look good?
You look great.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. I started with the Flyers. The first match, which was what do you call this, with the a stick. It
Cage?
wasn't much protection, but it was some protection, and then it gave you the confidence to really challenge the shooters because you had some protection. It really made a big difference.
Did you find it uncomfortable when you first played with it?
I miss that. I'm
Did
sorry.
you find the mask uncomfortable when you first played with it?
No, not really. It was good because every time they score a goal, I blame the mask. So it was so it was good. No, I didn't have any problems. It's right away when I wore the mask, I knew it was a good protection for me. And it would allow me to have a fairly long career with the National Hockey League. Really made a lot of sense.
You went from Boston. Go ahead. You went from Boston to the.
Oh, well, the difference is you have to be careful when you drop to your knees. Okay, like all the goalies are dropping to their knees, and I'll share with you the reason why they do it. But before I do this, when you drop to your knees, you're blocking the shot. Okay, so the rebound could go anywhere. But when you're standing on your feet, you have the ability to redirect your rebounds to your defenseman or one of your players, the forward, and really makes a big difference. The problem I see with the goalies today standing up, the problem is the pads are, it's not that they're that wide and that long because they have restrictions on it. It's that they're so stiff that the goalies can't move their feet sideways. So whenever there's a shot taken, they drop to their knees to cover the shots on the ice, and hopefully with this trap, the blocker and catching glove, they could catch the high shots. But the problem with this, when you drop to your knees, if the puck changes directions, then you don't have the ability to move on the other side, and you see goalies jumping around back and forth and stuff like this. And I still don't have the answer on whether all the goalies have to wear the same pads, the same equipment. I assume they all do because they're all wearing the same pads and they're all playing the same style, dropping to their knees. And they're good. I mean, they're good. They, don't misunderstand me. But coming from the old days of stand up and when you stand up, also remember with Joe Watson, one of my defensemen, one of the best defensemen, he used to say, when a player was coming down with the puck, I'll play the chess. So if it's a right-hand shot, 9 out of 10 times I knew the puck will go my left side. If it was a left-hand shot, 9 out of 10 times the puck will go my blocker. And it helps you to be at the right place at the right time to make the saves.
When you had your first stint with Philadelphia and then ended up in Toronto, you said you were disappointed by that. Did you love Philly that much at that time?
Yeah.
To not want to leave it?
I love Philly. I love the crowd in Philly, which was just incredible. Beginning we didn't have that many people, but we started building up when I got traded. But the people in Philly have been, ever since, I've been just incredible. And I feel as a professional hockey player, when you step on the ice and you have 17 or 20,000 people cheering you up, it elevates you to a different level. It makes you play much better.
before Bernie Perrant ended up becoming the man known as one of the greatest goaltenders who ever lived, those 2 spectacular years with the Philadelphia Flyers, he played 1 season with the Philadelphia Blazers in the World Hockey Association.
Yeah.
I imagine you have a few stories about that season.
Yeah. Before the season, I remember having played in Toronto for 2 years and learning so much with Blount. My career has changed, you know. I became a much better goalie. So at the end of the second season, I received a phone call from the World Hockey League asking me if I would love to join them. And I said, let me think about this, you know. And my philosophy has always been the same. If you don't take risk in life, you're going to live the same way the rest of your life, you know. So it's important to take risk, calculated risk, but take risk, you know. So I thought about it for a while, and I said, because Toronto had been in existence for 75 years, National Hockey League probably like 100 years, and it would have been the safe approach for me to stay with Toronto. But I said, I'll try. I'll give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, I'll come back to the National Hockey League. Well, it didn't work out. And then when I came back, the rule was you had to go back to Toronto. Think about this. And Toronto, 2 weeks later, traded me back to the Flyers. And then we won 2 Stanley Cups. If I would have played it safe, I would have never been in Philly to win the 2 Cups. How about that? Oh yeah, sure. You know, with the Blazers, I was offered 150,000 a year. You know, that's
What
a
were you
long
making
time
in
ago.
Toronto?
That was, pardon me?
What were you making in Toronto?
Toronto was about 35, I think.
Wow.
So what a big difference. That helped to make a decision too, you know. But you know, and you know, well, the money was part of it too, to a point, but it was to experience, you know, to take a risk, take a chance in life, and see what this would bring me, and it brought me 2 Stanley Cup with the Flyers. So, you know, when I look back, you know, very, very, very fortunate. And you know what, I believe I mentioned this before, the passion in life, you know, the passion to play National Hockey League. And I remember with the Bruins, I don't know if I shared this earlier, hopefully not, the first training camp with the Bruins, I was 19 years old, and they had Cheevers and Johnston. So I ended up in the minors and in Oklahoma, but my passion was always to play National Hockey League. And then those 2 guys got hurt at the same time. Okay. So when you have a passion and you ask the universe to guide you as you're making your passion, guess what? A lot of good things happen. Is it scary? Sure. But is it worth it? Of course it is. Beautiful thing to do.
When you played it with the Blazers in the World Hockey Association, it wasn't like you didn't play. You played 60, 65 games that season. You were playing all the time, and you helped a team that was okay, not great, but okay, make the playoffs. I mean, you played a big role on that hockey team. Why didn't it work out for you?
Well, it didn't work out because very simple. You know, I believe that was used to play in front of, you know, 18, 20,000 people. And then the World Hockey League, at the time, you were playing in front of 500 people. And to me, I was accustomed to a big crowd, you know, to pump you up, to get going. And I appreciate what the World Hockey League did. But it wasn't, obviously, it wasn't for me. And that's why I moved back to the National Hockey League. It was a good league, good competition for the National Hockey League, but it didn't fit for me. No.
So then you end up with the
Well, I believe you know what? They're awesome, awesome people. And you know what? I bring my wife into this because Jeannie is a great promoter. You know, she promotes me, you know, constantly, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So, you know, I haven't played in 40 years. So you have four different generations coming up. And if you don't promote yourself, then the younger generation don't really relate to you, and then you start to disappear a little bit. But she's done a fantastic job in promoting me and doing, you know, with messages and doing different things with the public and stuff like this. But the people, going back to the people in Philly, it's just incredible. You know, they back you up. I remember standing, you know, going on the ice. And in those days of the Spectrum, we had 17,007, the crowd, the amount
Yep.
of people, right? And you step on the ice and crowd would be standing up and cheering. And how can you get pumped? You cannot get pumped for something like this. You know, you get pumped. And you know what? And you want to do well for the team, the organization, all of it. But you want to do well for the people that are backing you up so gracefully. So it was a beautiful combination between the team and the people in Philly.
Well, you sure excited the people in Philly, because those 2 years of 73, 74 and 74, 75, two of the greatest seasons a goaltender could ever have. You win the Vezina and the Conn Smythe both years, play on one of the great teams in hockey history. Tell us about that experience, what it was like playing with that group of guys, because it might have been the toughest hockey team of all time.
Well, that might have been. We were the toughest team. Yeah, we were. Not including me, but we were. You know what? Very seldom that you saw a guy standing in front of the net trying to screen me for a shot. Believe me, you know we had some tough players, and you know what we had was first of all, Fred Shero was just incredible. Keith Allen did a heck of a job bringing the right people, and Fred Shero was very incredible. And we used to, guys, we used to practice inside the bar blue line. Fred would be at the red line shooting the puck in, right? And we all had to go back, and we had 5 different ways to come out. And we would practice this, you know, every day for a half hour. So when somebody would shoot the puck in, you know, I could have put my gloves on the net and have a cup of coffee. That's how secure I felt. You know, the team very seldom made mistakes. You know? And there was and then we had good communication between the goalies, the defense, and the defense with the forwards. And we're constantly talking on the ice, because if the puck's in the corner and I'm standing against the post, I see what's going on in front, and it's up to me, because most of the players are focusing on the puck, right? It's up to me to communicate with them and say where the other players are, you know, to make sure to remind them, so they become more aware of what's going on behind them or in front of them, and really made a big difference. So communication to me is very, very important in the hockey game. Well, you know, he's a good friend of mine, and every time he comes to Philly, he wants me to pay for the plane. Yeah, that's how good of a friend he is. Yeah, but no, he's good. You know, was good goalie. You know, good individual, and I look forward. It's going to come down this summer. We have a place in Avalon, New Jersey, on the water. That's why I keep my boat behind the house. And he's going to come down, and I'm going to take him out fishing. I can't wait for that.
Speaking of old friends, Reggie Leach, the Riverton Rifle in that second Stanley Cup season. Just had a tremendous hockey playoff. Tell us about the players you played with: Bobby Clarke, Reggie Leach, Don Selesky, Dave Schultz, Joe Watson. Boy, those were great teams.
Well, you had to mention Joe Watson, huh? No, I'm just kidding. No. You know what? To start with, we had the greatest leader in those years with Bobby Clarke. You know, a fantastic leader. Was he the best hockey player? No. But was he the greatest leader? Yes. And it was incredible how he would bring this team as a family. And, you know, this is what you learn as a young kid. You know, you learn that you can't win by yourself in life. You have to be part of a good group. Think about this. Wayne Gretzky or Bobby Orr, two of the top best players ever played the game, couldn't win by themselves. So they had to be part of a team. It was very important that Clarke brought that togetherness, you know, on the ice and off the ice. It was very, very important. And that's why, look, the first year we won against Boston, the odds had to be 50-1 against us. But the Flyers had a good goalie, you know. Just kidding.
Can't win without a goalie.
But, you know, when you think they had Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, and all those guys, they should have won in 4 games, and we won the Stanley Cup. You know what? And we won the Stanley Cup because of the family we believed in. So we work as a team, not individual, but as a team. What a difference it made. It builds up confidence.
No.
Well, you know what? Like I said, you have passion. You know, my passion was to play junior hockey league, you know, for like Niagara Falls, for an example. Second passion was to play the National Hockey League. Third passion was to win the Stanley Cup. Okay. And when we won, you know, there was 1-0. We won the game 1-0 against the Bruins. And when we won, you know what? The players jumped on the ice, came towards me because we celebrated as a team. I was so in shock that I didn't know what to do. We won the Stanley Cup. And you know what? And then Clarkey, when he starts skating around to show the people, you know, the Stanley Cup around the rink, he called me Ben at the time, right? He said, "Come on, Ben, help me with the Stanley Cup." And that was the greatest moment in my life when I skated around with Bobby, you know, all the way around the ice, and the ovation we received as a team. But carrying the Stanley Cup was just incredible. What a beautiful moment. I'm so grateful for that moment. It's incredible.
I hope I didn't sound like too much of a fanboy, because those teams were remarkable for me. I was in my early 20s in university at the time. And I remember the second time you won, I was actually in Bobcaygeon, Ontario with a girl I'd met, and we were fishing. How's that? But the Philadelphia Flyers of the 1974-75 seasons, two of the greatest teams of all time. And I'm just thrilled to death that we had the opportunity to talk to
Look at this, guys.
Spectacular.
74-75. How about that? Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's awesome.
We better. What was it in Fargo today? What was it in Fargo today? Yeah, it was minus 26 in Winnipeg with a wind chill of 41. So yeah, I guess it's right around the corner. I did come off like an 11-year-old fanboy, didn't I? He played in the National Hockey League when there were no ads on the boards. The goalie pads were brown. It was it. Guys didn't wear helmets. It was just a remarkable time, and a time we're glad we all lived through. I mean, it was a time where there was not only the National Hockey League where he was excelling, but there was also the World Hockey Association at the time. There was a lot going on in the hockey world that we didn't see as often because we didn't have social media. We didn't have very many games on TV. It was really a different time in history, and he was one of the greats. I mean, when he listed off Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito, um, Jerry Cheevers, Eddie Johnson. I remember in the 1960s when he was playing in Philadelphia, I could name the starting goaltender of every team in the National Hockey League. You can't do that now. You can't do it every night in the NHL. You used to be able to do it in the old days of hockey. Yeah. Well, where I grew up in Sarnia, we had the best linesman in the NHL. He was the golf pro in town, Neil Armstrong. Of course, his son is Doug Armstrong, the great general manager in the NHL. And Whitey Stapleton, Hall of Famer, another Hall of Famer, the late Whitey Stapleton. Um, those were the days when you found the NHLer at the car dealership because he was selling used cars during the summertime while he was playing in the NHL during the winter. Those are the differences. See you next week, 5:30.